They are accusing Democrats of saying we spend too much. For anyone that wants to entertain that thought, I ask you to think about the last time a person has said in this country that the government does too much for them, that their Social Security check was too high, that teachers are paid too much. When was the last time anyone has heard or seen that?
Another quote. President Biden already lowered the deficit by $1.7 trillion. They say his budget would cut the deficit by another $3 trillion by eliminating wasteful spending on big oil and pharma, we're told. But it is, in fact, our Democratic colleagues who prefer to maintain their massive subsidies for the elites and the wealthy in their so-called Inflation Reduction Act just last year. My friend from New York, Ms. Ocasio-Cortez, said, quote, "I ask you, think about the last time a person has said in this country that the government does too much for them. When was the last time anyone has heard or seen that?" I'll say it. I'll say it right here. I don't want the government doing most of the things that the government is doing to interfere with the ability of the American people to carry out their lives. Federal, state, and local. When was the last time you had a bureaucrat show up and you said, "Oh joy, thank you. I'm really glad there's a bureaucrat here"? When was the last time you were thankful for $32 trillion in debt, $100,000 almost for every man, woman, and child in America? Anybody thankful for $32 trillion in debt? Anybody? Anybody thankful for a border that's wide open being exploited by cartels while fentanyl comes in and kills our children? Everybody thankful for that Department of Homeland Security that doesn't actually secure the homeland? Everybody thankful for an FBI that went after Scott Smith and labeled him a domestic terrorist for daring to defend his daughter in a school board meeting because she was assaulted in a bathroom? Anybody thankful for the IRS knocking on your door, auditing the poor and the minorities 3 to 5 times more? People thankful for that? Are you thankful for the EPA or the Department of Interior that sent a man to prison because he had some ponds on his ranch in Montana? We have a government that is weaponized against the American people and is undermining our liberties, and they want more of it. My colleagues on the other side of the aisle want more government. They want more taxes. They want more spending. They want more bureaucrats knocking on your door.
So AOC says that people are always accusing Democrats of spending too much money. And she goes on to saying, when was the last time you heard anyone say that the government does too much for us? And the first thing that came to my mind is yeah, they say that all the time, but they say it in a different way. What they do say is that there is too much government involved in our lives. That's what they say, which is the same way of saying that government does way too much for us. American families have a budget. And for the most part, if there's an expense they want or something they want to do and it doesn't fit within their budget, they cut cost or they switch around funds to either be able to do that. But if they can't, they don't overspend so that they don't get in debt. For the most part, that's how people try to manage their family budget. Government has a budget. But when government has a budget, when they all come to the table to focus on, okay, what is our new budget for this year? You never have a conversation around cutting cost. It's always about adding more debt to our budget. For an example, this year, once Congress gets another speaker, everyone's going to come to the table with what their state needs for money. And one of the things that AOC is coming to the table, and it's listed and it's out there, you can go research it. AOC wants $5 million for a new bathroom in a library. So their focus is always on getting more money, and not being responsible, financially responsible with our money to cut where we can cut, spend where we need to spend, and maybe have a year or 2 or 3 where we don't add costs so we can get our budget balanced.